This is Unitrends. Unitrends is an all-in-one backup appliance that allows you to protect your local data. We use a physical recovery series appliance or a virtual Unitrends backup appliance to protect that data and then replicate it. You can replicate it to another site or you can replicate it to the Unitrends cloud. The Unitrends cloud is a private purpose-built cloud that provides DR services for you and your data. The first level of service is what we call Forever Cloud. This provides offsite automated immutable copies of your data. The data is backed up and replicated automatically, and it can't be touched, edited, or deleted from the local appliance or the local network. We take and we use that as a foundation, and we build upon that, and we bring into focus Unitrends DR as a service. This white glove managed service allows you to spin up VMs inside of the Unitrends cloud. With flexible VPN options, your users and your sites can connect and utilize those systems. This is an SLA-based service where we've got guaranteed spin-up times. Your data lives in more places than just your on-prem. As we discussed, we can use those Unitrends appliances to protect the data that is local and on the premises. As that data moves into Google, Office 365, and Salesforce, we can use spanning to protect that data as well. Workloads in Azure can be protected with Unitrends Backup for Microsoft Azure, where we can give you predictable cost capabilities to be able to back up and recover individual files and recover VMs almost instantly. Your laptops and your remote sites can be backed up and protected with endpoint backup protection. Think about using an agent-based strategy to back up directly to the cloud. When we think about managing Unitrends, UniView allows us to manage all of these aspects from one place. This single pane of management glass allows you to manage your Unitrends appliance, your endpoint backup, and spanning all from one place. Now, this is designed to help you and help you be efficient and manage your environment. What this has is it's got a dashboard that allows us to see all of the aspects, but we can also talk about the fact that it's got Backup IQ. Backup IQ allows you to set customizable thresholds that define how you and your team will be notified for backup events. When we look at how these notifications come up, it tells us that we've had a backup threshold that's been exceeded, and then it will give us the details of what that means. You'll also notice here that we have another warning that's interesting to talk about. Backup IQ is also reporting on our ransomware detection. Simply put, we're using a predictive analytics engine to look for deviations from the normal and standard behavior. We look at metrics such as change rate, compression, growth, and even something that's called entropy that looks at the amount of random behavior inside of the backup. We utilize this information to identify exactly which systems were hit and when they were hit so that you can recover and have that peace of mind. As we look at managing a single appliance, we also bring into focus that we can manage multiple appliances. When we go into the status page, we can see basic information about the appliances, where they are, when they're calling home, their free space, whether or not we're using Helix to manage that, which gives us next level automation to make sure that the appliances are always up to date and that there are no missed backups for things like VSS. But we can also see our protected assets. This will show us how we can understand very quickly, very easily that we're protecting our local assets with backup, and then we are replicating them. Additionally, you'll notice that we've got check marks here. Now, these check marks are what we call recovery assurance. These are answering the eternal two questions of all backups. Do I have a good backup, and how long will it take me to recover? If I were to dive in from here into the local UI of the local appliance, we can see recovery assurance take center stage again, once again, providing reports that allow us to understand exactly how long it'll take to recover and whether or not I've got good recovery points. We literally are using recovery assurance to spin up a copy of the backup and test it, and then ultimately report on how long it would take to recover that system. The flip side of this coin is that we can also utilize these recovery assurance jobs to basically go in and recover all of our systems in a nice orchestrated fashion. We simply select the VMs that we want to restore. We'll go in and we'll select good green restore points. When I hover over them, they tell us that those are indeed certified. These are the check marks that we were looking at earlier. When I hit save, I'm going to use a profile strategy, the same profile strategy that we used to actually test to recover these systems and to do it in an orderly and orchestrated fashion, making sure that you can recover the same way that you test. The Unitrends appliance is going to be able to protect a vast amount of assets. We can look at everything from virtual to physical assets utilizing agentless and agent-based protocols alike. For VMware, we can protect those individual VMs that are managed by vCenter, but for our physical systems, we can also use a file or an image agent to be able to protect those workloads the best way possible and then ensure recoverability and resiliency. When we look at what we're able to do with recovery, Unitrends provides a variety of ways to be able to recover. If we think about a search file capability where we wanted to go out in and actually drill down utilizing search criteria, we would be able to do that. When we hit this search, it's going to return back a list of restore points that meet the criteria, and we can select the one that we want and then simply use a quick and easy wizard to replace that file that is missing or deleted. Similarly, we can go in with a VM and we can select a VM and we can recover individual files as well. We can mount that backup image to the appliance, go in and browse for the files that we need and do that very quickly and easily without having to recover the entire VM. When it is time to recover the entire VM, we have instant recovery, which allows us to take an entire VM and recover that VM very quickly. We simply build the virtual disk on the appliance and inject the data in bulk so that we can then move the virtual disk where we need to and do that very quickly, utilizing the fact that we can turn the VM on and then use the VM while we're migrating the data. For physical systems, we can use these same backups to do bare metal recovery where we don't have to worry about recovering back into the same hardware. We can deal with the similar hardware by simply using some boot media that we provide, booting the new system, and then restoring on top of that and injecting drivers along the way. As we look at the interface here where I'm using to recover, we also can filter these backups. One of the easiest things that we can do is restore from the cloud. All I have to do is set my threshold for the time and then change my backup so I'm looking at hot targets. When I filter on hot target backup copies, these are going to be the pieces that have been replicated to the cloud. This is going to spin for a very short amount of time, and then it's going to give me back a list of restore points. I can go in and I can select the restore point that I want. With that, I'm able to recover individual files or bring the entire restore point back to the appliance where I could restore the entire VM or the entire system. It's worth noting here that when I have this restore point selected, I do have a delete button. But remember, the Unitrends cloud is immutable. So when I hit the delete button, it actually doesn't even let me go into a delete wizard at all. The reason being is that the data in the Unitrends cloud can't be touched, edited, or deleted from the local interface. Unitrends provides a number of tools to help you be resilient and flexible in the face of a disaster. One of those things that we can do is utilize a replica. Think about a dynamic standby copy. We take a backup and we then provide a fully hydrated copy of that VM inside of a virtual environment. And every time we run a backup, we update it. The end state for you is that when you need it, all you have to do is power it on. We can do this with our file level agent, our image level agent, as well as VM level backups. This level of resiliency means that you can meet the shortest of RPOs and the shortest of RTOs utilizing the Unitrends appliance to be able to get there. As we circle back to where we started, that the Unitrends appliance is an all-in-one backup appliance designed to give you backup resiliency. It is the center of your business continuity and disaster recovery strategy, and we can utilize this appliance to protect your local data and then replicate it to the cloud where we can give you DR as a service and cloud retention that is 100% immutable.